Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. So today I'm just back kind of wanting to distract everybody with a good old Rewired Soul reaction. I saw that he wanted to talk about psychiatric medications, and if you've been on my channel for a while, you know I have issues with how he shares his message when it comes to psychiatric medications. He flip-flops from advocating for people to take them to advocating for people to not take them. It's It's literally ridiculous. So that, of course, was the first video that caught my eye, with everyone sitting here self-distancing. I know a lot of people, and I think he shared prior that he's working from home. You know, people have a little bit more time, and he's been uploading like crazy. And this was the first one that caught my eye, so that's what we are going to be doing today. But if you are new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health. I react to the Rewired Soul, but I like to talk about other topics in society if they catch my eye, and I feel that we can learn a lesson when talking about substance abuse and mental health, because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate, and I want to use my experience, in my opinion, to negate some of the things that we do see here in society. So if you enjoy my content, you enjoy watching me, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below, hit the bell so that way you can also be notified every time I post a video. I apologize that, you know, this is my first upload, but my patrons were able to get a patron exclusive video on Monday. That's right, I do have a Patreon. You guys can check me out at Journey to Find Kay. Check out all my different tiers. Those in the trash tier and above were able to get an exclusive video on Monday, and I went in on why I decided to work in mental health and kind of spoke more about my parent who was diagnosed with DID. So I definitely, you know, implore you to go check out my Patreon if you want to, but if not, again, I always say, you guys watching, liking, commenting, subscribing is support, and I appreciate you guys oh so much. So yeah, even though this is technically like my first upload of the week, I'm not doing a mental health check-in because just this past Sunday I did go live and did a live mental health check-in, just kind of checking in with my people on how they were handling this whole self-distancing thing. But I still want to hear from you guys. If you did miss it, you can let me know down in the comments below how you guys are doing. How is everything going for you so far? How are you coping with self-distancing, if I can say it correctly? I want to hear from you guys. I always love hearing and reading your guys' comments, so don't be afraid to share if you want to. So we're just going to go ahead and hop into a Rewired Soul reaction, because he's talking about psychiatric medications, and I just, when it comes to him talking about this, he's so wishy-washy. He is so wishy-washy with his message, and I'm just interested in seeing,
where does he stand today?
Where does he stand today? Because recently it's been for psychiatric medications and making sure you're taking them and all of that, and sharing that he's changed his meds. But prior it was, not everyone needs them, they don't really work, like, so I want to see what does he feel today. So let's just go ahead, quit rambling, let's get on into it. Oh, we already start with the disclaimer, and I already have him on 1.5 times speed, because nah, that's what I say here.
This is Chris from the Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem but focus on the solution. And if you're new to my channel is all about mental health. So if you're somebody like me who is regularly trying to improve your mental and emotional well-being, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And we are about to go on a little journey. I'm going to discuss my history with mental health medication, specifically anti-anxiety, antidepressant medication. And I know that you checked that disclaimer at the beginning of this video, but just to reiterate, do not do anything with your medications without talking to a doctor, okay? It is unsafe, and you don't want to do that, all right? I will share a little
Thank you. Because he wasn't saying this a few months before. Let's stay consistent. Let's stay consistent. That is needed, especially when we talk about mental health. Consistency is always key.
about the one time I made that dumb mistake. But anyways, before I get to why I'm no longer taking my anti-anxiety/antidepressant medications, let me explain why I got on them in the first place. So, some of you know, I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. I got clean on June 23rd, 2012. That was my 27th birthday. And I didn't know anything about mental health or mental illness or anything like that, but throughout my life, I just knew that my brain was acting different than everybody else, right? Specifically when it came to anxiety, that is like my primary disorder. I struggle with depression as well. So I started self-medicating with drugs and alcohol. That was how I was getting through it. But as many of you know, substance abuse only makes things worse.
I don't agree with that statement that his anxiety is his primary disorder. Not diagnosing him or anything like that, but both of your disorders are your primary disorder.
So anyways, when I got sober,
you don't just throw depression in there.
I was having a panic attack. All right, and I was telling my mom about it. My mom is a psychologist, and I was telling her like what was going on. I was confused.
And that's not even like, I get it if people are, you have good coping skills and you're able to manage your depression and stuff like that. I still feel, in my own personal opinion, that you look at both of the diagnoses equally.
No idea what was happening. It was in the early stages of my recovery, and she's like, "It sounds like you're having a panic attack. She's like, you should go see your doctor." And I was like, "Okay." So I went down and I saw my primary care doctor, and yeah, after some appointments and everything like that, I was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder as well as depression. So she put me on the medication Lexapro. Lexapro is an antidepressant, but it also helps with anxiety. Because I'm a recovered drug addict, I can't take potentially addictive medications. So I can't take things like Xanax or Valium. Those medications act a little bit quicker, right? They go straight to the amygdala in the brain.
And I will always preface that with, that is personal preference. You know your treatment better than anything. I do understand the logic of certain people. Sometimes when they are in recovery, they will not use things that have the potential of being addictive or could be considered a narcotic or anything like that. And that's their treatment for staying sober. That doesn't mean if certain medications that they wouldn't use or they consider wouldn't keep them sober, that does not always apply to you. And I want people to be able to take that away. And that was something I stated in my live on Sunday as well, is that I will never sit here and pill shame anybody, no matter what your personal background is. If you are in recovery, you know your recovery. You know what you had concerns with when you were in your addiction, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say you shouldn't use any narcotics, you shouldn't use any benzos. Have I worked in places where those were the rules? Yes, I have. And I understood why those were the rules. But when it comes to you individually, I don't know you, so I can't sit here and say, oh no, you shouldn't be using that. That's messing up your sobriety or whatever the case is. It is a case-by-case scenario. You are a part of a team. This is your treatment. And so if you choose to use a Xanax, or if you choose to use medications that other people might deem as, oh, you're not sober any longer, do not let that make you feel bad.
Response is going on.
It's your treatment.
Calm that sucker down. But as some of you know, those medications can become addictive. So I was put on Lexapro, and I stayed on that, and it managed my anxiety for a very long time.
Because I know he has a history of doing that to people.
I got to a point where this is something that I don't know if anybody else struggles with this who is a recovering pill addict, but I was about a year or two into my recovery after being on the meds. And I didn't want to be on any medications. Like, my primary drug of choice was prescription painkillers, and I didn't like how pills were holding me hostage. Like, that's what my brain told me. And I didn't want to be on any medication. So one day I made the very dumb decision that once I run out of my medication, I'm gonna stop, right? And I ran out. I stopped taking them for a day or two. It was fine. And then I was at work and I started having a panic attack, and I was freaking out. It was on a Friday.
And I was just speaking about that as well. That's crazy. This is so crazy that this is coming up right now. Like, this is a video I'm watching, because I was speaking about that as well. As I have had experiences prior to where I was in recovery with my own mental health and was feeling good and was like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to take those medications, and I would stop taking them, because we get to this point where we're like, oh, we feel good. What did I really need it? We start questioning the reasons why we were taking these medications, which is something I can relate to what he did. I've done that, and I think that's something that I want people to understand. That's a normal part of your mental health journey. You're going to have essentially relapses or moments where you're going to make the wrong decision. It's not easy. You're going to think, oh, I feel good, I don't need to take those medications. And if you stop, don't feel too bad because you did that, because that does happen. It's when you figure it out and you take that, you acknowledge that moment and you start taking them again, that's where you see that change coming, because you're seeing a change in your actual behavior. And I don't think a lot of people express enough that that is normal. That is something that does happen in many people's mental health journeys, where we get to that good spot where we feel we are healthy, we don't need it any longer, we're fine, we learned enough in therapy, whatever you may use as your reason to stop. And sometimes that is the case. You can stop. That's awesome. But for a lot of us, we might not be able to. And when we get to that point of recognizing we need to get back on it, that step of getting back on it is something to be very proud of as well.
I couldn't get a refill.
That was a long rant, sorry.
You don't do this. And I couldn't get a refill until Monday. So it's like, my dumb decision led to me having to deal with my anxiety all weekend long until I was able to get that refill. But anyways, getting off your medications without supervision from a doctor is dangerous. Some of these medications have very, very terrible side effects. Like, some of them make you even more depressed. Some of them give you ideation to take your own life and things. Like, never, ever, ever, ever get off your medications without a doctor's supervision. So I got back on my medications, and eventually I realized that my Lexapro wasn't doing as much as it was before. I got tolerant, right? So I went to my doctor. I got my dosage up. I think this was years ago, so don't quote me on this. I think I was at 10 milligrams, and she upped it to 20 milligrams. And about 3 months later, I got that tolerance again. And I told her, and she's like, well, I can't really do much. Like, this is the maximum dosage I can give you. And that's actually when I found meditation. Those of you who watched my interview with Dr.
See, in that type of moment, and this is why, and I'm going to say it right here, is why I do advocate for those who are able to go to a mental health clinic, see a psychiatrist, if you have the insurance to be able to do so. I suggest that you do that, because what happened right here is he ran into that wall that happens if you just, like, say you're only available to see your primary care doctor. He hit that wall of the limit that she's able to prescribe. If he went to a mental health clinic, he would have been able to get a higher dosage, because that's what they specialize in. And I always feel like sometimes people take it as me like bashing primary care. No, because I understand that might be the only place, the only access people have to taking care of their mental health, so I'm not going to bash that. Like, go get help wherever you're able to get help. But if you are able to go to an actual mental health clinic and see the prescribers there, that's where you get opened up to the higher dosages that they're able to provide you, because that's what they specialize in. And that's what he could have did, but right now I guess we're going to find out he chose to do the meditation route.
Talking about, I explained I got into meditation because my medications were only working so much. And mindfulness meditation kind of filled that gap of what the medications were no longer doing for me. But later, I started, recognizing the side effects, right? Like, I had dealt with the side effects for a while. There's a wide range of them. I won't go into all the details. The most predominant one was like that feeling of numbness, like just not feeling any emotions. So I talked with my doctor. I was like, hey, I would like to get off these medications. I've been doing a lot of self-care when it comes to meditation, when it comes to 12-step meetings and journals and everything like that. So she gradually helped me taper off. And I stayed off for a while. I actually did this a couple times, but eventually my anxiety would kick back in, primarily because of life circumstances. Like, one of the times my anxiety came back was when I started dating this woman, like, way before my beautiful girlfriend Tristan. And my anxiety flared up, so I got back on the meds. But anyways, the side effects were there again. So I talked to her, and she switched me to Prozac. And this was about a year and a half ago. So I started taking Prozac, and it was all good. I took it for a long time. Not as many side effects. There were periods when I started feeling that numbness again, but it was more rare than it was on the Lexapro. And around Christmas time, I think it was December, I've discussed emotional regulation in recent videos that I've done on borderline personality disorder and dialectical behavioral therapy, but emotional regulation is something that I've struggled with most of my life. I'm not diagnosed with BPD, but some people do struggle with emotional regulation. And for a few years now, my mom's recommended getting on a mood stabilizer. So I went to my doctor and I was like, hey, what do you think about me getting off of my antidepressant?
Remember, guys, like, this is where I can't let this slide. That's what, like, he just tried to slide over. Oh, back in December. Yeah, back in December, he was sitting here just telling people he wasn't taking his meds, wasn't really consulting with the doctor, didn't even go real in to see the doctor. I said he low-key snitched on his doctor because he said he hadn't seen his doctor in over 3-4 months, and she just prescribed him a refill. A whole thing. And now, okay, now we're getting a little insight to why. So is he going to try to say he was taking his mood stabilizer since then? Because back then, your actions were totally opposite of that. You were telling everybody that meds weren't really needed. That studies show that is basically the placebo effect. Like, get the heck out of here, your blogs. I have blog videos you guys can check out. Like, I went off because he was really advocating some dangerous practices when it came to psychiatric medications. And now are you going to try to excuse it? Saying, oh, I switched over to this because it sure did seem like you weren't taking anything. But I don't know you. I don't know you.
That's what my mom recommends. She's been on it for a while now. And my doctor was like, yeah, sure, like, we could try it, So, yeah, in December, I tapered off of the Prozac. I started taking Anitdepressant, and it's been 3 months that I've been off my antidepressant, anti-anxiety medications. So, yeah, like, my experience with it, it's been good. Like, in the last 3 months, even in the current state of what's going on in the world, my anxiety hasn't are tools that I have, right? I've been trying to meditate every single morning for at least 5 to 10 minutes. I have an awesome therapist who I try to talk to at least once a week. I use the BetterHelp online therapy app. There's an affiliate link down in the description if you want to check it out. But I try to do like an appointment with her.
At least he says it's an affiliate link. He pays attention. He pays attention. I'm glad. Look at this.
On the app and everything. But she gives me exercises and things like that too. I'm a huge fan of rational and emotive behavioral therapy. For me, that is one of the best therapies for my type of anxiety. My anxiety is very irrational. All right, I get into these thought loops and ruminations and everything that are completely irrational. So rational and emotive behavioral therapy, they have like the ADCs, right? Like the activating event, the belief, the consequences, and you kind of look at it and you start to retrain how your mind is thinking about these things, right? I also do a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy that is similar. It's catching these certain thoughts or the behaviors that we have associated with those thoughts that aren't really helping us and oftentimes they're hurting us, so there's a lot of different therapies that I use to manage my anxiety. When it comes to my depression,
I know, like, just if I look at the tools that I use to kind of help, like, with my anxiety and stuff like that, a lot of it is really big, really based in CBT. I will always tell people to go get help. I will always tell people to go and go get therapy, because the tools that you learn in therapy can be they're just awesome. Like, I have nothing negative ever to say. Like, if you are able to go to therapy online, in person, doesn't matter, because even in good times, bad times, especially right now in bad times, it's going to help you build those coping skills so that shit doesn't just hurt so much. That's all I can say is, like, hurt. It just hurts for me anyway. If I think about like how anxiety feels or depression feels, it hurts. And so you get these good tools that you can use to be able to just kind of not let it hurt as much,
I have a video coming out with Dr. Alex Forbes. It's actually a podcast episode too. But anyways, I recently reread his book, Upward Spiral. It's about the neuroscience behind depression. And there's so many little things that you can do to start boosting your serotonin and endorphins and dopamine and oxytocin and all these other things. So I try to do those things if I start to feel down and depressed. One of the best things is a gratitude list, all right? Just 5 things that you're grateful for. It helps your brain get out of this tunnel vision on the negative, and it forces you to look at the positive. There's a lot of studies, a lot of research around this.
I'm a big believer in positive affirmations too.
Aside from
positive
this,
quotes.
Typical mindfulness meditation, I practice loving kindness meditation. Like, for me, when I look at my mental health issues, a lot of it is very self-centered, right? I'm thinking about me. Loving kindness meditation, loving kindness meditation is sending kind thoughts and well wishes to other people, right? I think I did a video bringing people through that meditation a while back, but that's very helpful for me. Like, I start out sending these thoughts and well wishes to the people closest to me, and then I kind of broaden that feeling of love and compassion to others, right? It expands kind of like everybody. I hope that you're happy and healthy and loved, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been good, and like, for me, it's just I want people to know that there are options. People don't like when I talk about it, but yeah.
It's not that we don't like when you talk about it. We just don't like how you frame it. Like, it now all makes sense as to why he was on this huge antidepressant rant. It was just like, don't take it. And the way that you present it comes across as, like I said, very dangerous. As, oh, you don't need to see a doctor. You don't need to do this. You don't need to take these medications. They are the placebo effect. Like, the way you present your information, your options, is trash, because it can be you have people who believe everything that comes out of your mouth and will just stop taking their medications because of a thing that you said. So yes, it's not because we don't want you to talk about the options. It's just pay attention to how you frame it, how you state it.
To believe that medications are the end all be all. Like,
nobody believes that.
And from my experience, as well as the experience of many others who I've spoken to over the years, like, that's not the case. Medications.
And if you believe that, I'm sorry, it's not the end all be all. They are a tool. It is a tool to get you to baseline. Everything else that you do above baseline is the tools that you would learn in therapy, the coping skills that you use to help you navigate every day. The medication is a tool to help you just get to that okay spot. And it's sad to say, like, okay spot, but I've been to not okay, and I've been way up there. Like, it's not an end all be all at all. And I'm tired of him swearing to goodness that everybody believes that. No, there's plenty of us that are telling you it's a tool.
Not a silver bullet, and that's why I feel it's so important for all of us to not only take our medications, but we have to do other things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like something some of you might know.
Now you're saying
psychology
that.
class is the biopsychosocial model, right? They use this for mental illness, they use this for addiction, but not only is it the biological factors, right, like the chemical imbalances, the genetics, right, but also your thought patterns, the psychological part, the social part, like what are things happening in your life, right, like constantly being stressed about money or family or whatever it is, like the situation we're all in right now where we have to quarantine. These things can affect your mental health as well. So if we just focus on the biological aspect, we're neglecting all these other things, and a lot of us start to wonder, why am I not doing better yet? Why, right? So regardless of what you took away from this video, if you are on medications and you're still not feeling as good as you would like to, start thinking about that a little bit. Start thinking about what else you could do in your life to improve your mental health. Like, it's more than just taking a pill every single morning or at night or whatever it is. Start looking at your thought patterns and, different forms of therapy. If you can't afford therapy, like I'm telling you, there are so many worksheets online, there are so many books on different forms of therapy and everything like that. There are so many things that you can do even if you cannot afford therapy. Some of the smartest people in the world who created these therapies have put that knowledge and that wisdom into books, and you can educate yourself about them and start doing those practices. I love therapy because it's like a check-in where they let you know, like, hey, are you still on the right path? But sometimes we have to work with what we have, and if we don't have the money to afford therapy, we got to do other things. And meditation is totally free. My entire meditation practice started off with free smartphone apps. You know what I mean? But anyways, I would love to hear from all of you about your experience with anti-anxiety medications, antidepressants, how they affected you.
Okay, so basically we know how that ends. So now we have an explanation on why he went on his huge antidepressant tirade in his blogs, in his video. Now we understand why. I can't. He doesn't excuse it because he said, oh, like, this man really sat here and said, people don't like me talking about options. No, it's the way you word things. In those videos, in those blogs, you always made it seem like taking these medications is a waste of time. Like, you need to take a walk outside. You need to do this. Like, you went on a huge tirade. Like, you went off on all of your platforms about how bad psychiatric medications can be, and was telling everyone that like studies show antidepressants, they really don't work. It's really like the placebo effect. Like, do you not understand how that was problematic? It's not that people don't want you to talk about options. It's just how you do it. And you have a tendency to alienate different people within the mental health community. In your past, you have sat here and made people who utilize medications that you feel would hurt your sobriety, you made them feel that you wouldn't consider them sober because they do use those medications. Like, I've reacted to videos. I've made videos about his blogs where you crapped on psychiatric medications. You said antidepressants basically don't work. You don't need to take them. You advised people, maybe unintentionally to you, but you advised people to stop taking their medications without talking to their doctor, or changing their dosages without speaking with the doctor. Now we're advocating for taking medications and speaking with your providers whenever you want a change or need to do something different, which I applaud you. Can we stick to this? Can we stay here? It's not about speaking about options. Talk about options. We love hearing about different things people can do to help take care of their mental health. But we also don't want people walking away feeling like they were shamed or that they're doing something wrong with their treatment. Because what this man does not seem to really, or he does understand, he has people who believe everything that he says. And in those videos, when he was talking about his meds and why he just stopped and wasn't able to do this or that, he had people who were like, yeah, I just stopped mine, sharing their stories. Like, what he's now advocating for, of speaking with your doctor and don't just stop your meds because they could be dangerous. He wasn't doing that back then. Back in December, he sure wasn't, even beginning of January. So I'm sorry, I'm glad that you found a medication that works for you, but that doesn't explain away those horrible messages that you were giving out back then. And just because this man is getting a little bit of a rise now, he got people watching his videos. He's got more subscribers coming back. We're going to change our tune. If we're going to change our tune, let's stick to that tune, please. Because I've shared, like, I'm not perfect. I've shared that I've stopped taking meds. I've shared that I've gotten to that little plateau where it's like, yeah, everything's good. I don't need to take them no more, and stopped. But I sure did get back on and make sure people understand and advocate for why that is important and you shouldn't do that. I understand that a lot of times that's our brain telling us, playing that little trick. And there's another reason why we need to continue to take care of our mental health. I also understand that it doesn't work for everyone, and there are plenty of people who were able to stop taking medications and are good. I don't shame none of that, because that's your treatment. What you do for your treatment is ultimately what you do for your treatment, because I'm not you. We're all individuals, and we know what is best for our lives. And yet this man, oh, they don't like me talking about options. No, it's because you tend to hurt those who are coming to you to look for help, for guidance, to be educated. That's why we have issues, because this wasn't your tune 2-3 months ago. Now I understand. Now I understand why those videos came out. I understand, but it still doesn't make them okay, because the message has been out there for these past few months. Like, yay for advocating for medications, yay for advocating for speaking with a doctor. For not making any changes to your medications without speaking with a doctor. Can we stay this? Can we keep this? Can we stay right here? Can we stay right here in this belief, in these practices? Please. So yeah, that's just how I feel. I want to hear from you guys now down below in the comments. How do you feel about this video? What is your opinion about him coming out? Do you think this is his way of explaining those videos that, had us in an uproar back in December? I want to hear your opinions, your thoughts. Let me know. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're also notified every time I post a video. Hit me up on social media. Hit me up on Twitter at Journey to Find K. Instagram, Journey to Find K. I'm starting to be more active over there, guys. I'm so proud of myself. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching my video, commenting, liking, subscribing. All of it. I love my community, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye.